is clear to children. One team chose to make an educational video on the connection between hand washing and avoiding the flu. Another chose to create posters to show how viruses spread. The project teams showed off their final work to an enthusiastic audience of parents and their children at a nearby elementary school. Sitting in the front row was our good friend and local rock star Claire, who saw a bit of herself in the students. It was clear that the project was a success for the students, the audience, and Mr. Simmons. His students practiced critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. The project wasn't about memorization, but learning in depth about viruses and how to prevent spreading disease, a lesson they will never forget. At the end of the presentation, Claire introduced herself to the students and told them that they were rock stars and that the world needs more people who can think like them. To learn more about project-based learning, go to BIE.org. Recuerda que
the main thing to remember is to teach the students some necessary vocabulary. See, well, on the top left here, you can give a presentation. All right. If I've got a pointer, maybe you don't use that. You've got a presentation. You can give a simple presentation. You can make a little, like a guidebook or some kind of book, short, small book with lots of pictures in it, and that's a kind of project as well. You could make a poster and have all the information on the poster which people can read. You could also make a little newspaper, a one-page newspaper or a two-page newspaper. Or you could you could act it out. You could do a drama. You could do a play. You could do like a dance or a theatre, and you can make a project out of that as well. Or you could record a podcast. It's quite easy to do that these days. You can just record what you're talking about. You can show pictures of it. You can embed video, and you've got a nice podcast. Or you can create a website that other people can see. So the information that you're finding out about in your project could be published as a website for other people. What have we got there? You could make a presentation for tourists about their town. Presentation about Kiwi. Or you can make a guidebook about animals in a local zoo. Now remember, these are usually for young learners. The university students, they might do something different. But for young learners at elementary school, primary school, it's usually quite simple. So a presentation or a guidebook, or perhaps they could make an advertisement poster for a famous K-pop group, or a Cambodian pop group, or any pop group they like. Perhaps they'll write an act out or drama play about some issue that they're interested in. Perhaps they will create a newspaper with different stories from each group. Maybe they'll make a podcast or a YouTube video about a solution to a social problem such as climate change. Or they might create a class website outlining learning activities, sports days, and so on. Okay? All of those are different types of projects which students can work together to help create. All right. Now, moving on to the next part now. There are two things to remember when you're building a project-based learning task. And here's the first one. Well, usually it's more than one lesson. It could be a one-lesson project, but that's quite short. Usually the students need time to plan their project, plan who will do what tasks, finish the project, put it together, and present their findings. So usually more than one lesson. For young learners, maybe 4 or 5 lessons. For older or more advanced learners, it might be 1 or 2 weeks. And it can be even longer. The main thing is, don't let students get bored. Okay? If the students get bored because the project is going on for too long, then you don't want that to happen. Now, so we know about a project, we know how to do a project, and we know about the steps of the project, but we have to teach English through this project, and that's a bit more difficult. How does language, or English language, or Khmer language fit into that project? And that's what we're going to look at now. Before I start this, any questions or any problems right now? Anybody want to ask any questions? Or anybody having any problems? I'll turn my camera off to see if everything's still working.